Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask that you connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And there's the Emperor energy. Very cool, very powerful. This is a very kind of in-charge energy. Okay, let's put it into some context. Let's see what is going on. What kind of things are you taking charge of? All right. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, the Fool card, a 4. Got a lot of good fiery energies today. A lot of passion, a lot of creativity, a lot of willpower, a lot of decisions, a lot of actions, a lot of experimentation, perhaps. We got that Fool up there. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. And we'll just put it over here. We'll put our Frankenstein monster duck right there on top of that mystery card. And, you know, we're not going to look at that mystery card until the very end, Taurus, so don't even ask. Hopefully it'll tie everything together, give us the confirmation we need. Okay. But if at any point during the reading you get an idea, a sense, a feeling of what that card is, I want you to put your prediction in the comments below. Okay? Trying to see if we can collectively raise our vibrations, tap into spirit, kind of as a group exercise. All right, so I'd be happy if you'd play along. But first, let's look at these energies. We've got, of course, our major. We have our 3 major arcana cards, which incidentally is kind of unbridled passion and magic and creation and confidence. This is unrestrained kind of mental activity, spiritual activity. This is really, the Fool is kind of directionless in a way, right? It's just expansiveness, wants to do everything, and then with the Luster Strength card, really wants to enjoy everything. It's the Emperor that has to hold everything together, okay? So we have our extremes of thinking, extremes of feeling, and then the Emperor has to kind of mediate between the two. Very interesting there. We have, let's see, fire, a lot of fire here on the path of the Serpent. And we have our water over here. We've got our air here and some earth. So it's pretty balanced, I think. It's, you know, it's heavy on the fire for sure, especially when we take into account the Emperor, which is Aries, the Luster Strength, which is Leo. We have some fire sign energies here. So it is, there's a focus on creativity right now, right? There's a focus on beginnings. And when we take these two together, this is interesting. I feel like you are the kind of person that likes to be in control. You like to kind of have an itinerary. You like to have a plan, right? A business plan or a life plan. You like to be the one to make decisions. You don't jump into anything haphazardly, right? You don't like to just impulsively act or react. You like to think things through. You like to get all the data in. You like to take your time, make your decision. And when you make your decision, it's final. Kind of feel like you're a bit of a law and order kind of person, right? Maybe you're in criminal justice or law enforcement or something like that, right? But I feel kind of more an administration than like out in the field or in the street, right? I feel like you're kind of the one that makes the laws. You're not really the one that enforces them, if that makes sense. And this could maybe apply to your business, your career, your kind of life energies. It could apply to your home, to your family life as well, your personal relationships. Okay. But there's something coming that's going to kind of challenge that. Because the lust or strength card here is, there are no rules. There is no law and order, right? It's kind of anarchy here with this lust or strength card, or at least on the surface. On the surface, it is unbridled creation. It is unbridled passion, right? There's no structure. There's no order. There's no making sense of this. There's no controlling this. There's no need to restrain it because it is pure creative passion. Could be that you're meeting a Leo person who is very much like this, and it kind of is an interesting contrast with your energy. Okay, I see a romantic comedy kind of in the making already. Someone who's very structured and orderly and disciplined and organized, and then someone that's just kind of a wild child, right? Wild energy, this creative, passionate kind of person. It seems on the surface there's an incompatibility, but deep down it's both fire energy, right? It's both fire. So it kind of feels in some ways one of you kind of starts something or drags the other one into it, and then the other person is the one that kind of keeps that person there for the long haul. So it's complementary energy. It's not opposite energy. So when I get these two cards together, I think this is either something that's in you. It's either you have this kind of, you have this impulse for freedom, for running. You want to run wild, right? But there's this other part of you that likes the structure, likes the order, likes things to be kind of routine and disciplined. Could be coming in the form of another person, a Leo person maybe, into your life. Right? That's going to give you, it's like a romantic comedy, right? Someone who's very organized and orderly and just goes about their business. And then they meet someone that is the complete opposite, seemingly. Just wild and all just outside of the box, right? And it ends up being a perfect match, right? You're exactly what each other needs. Yeah. But this could be taking place inside of you as well. All right, and that kind of is hinted at by the cards over here on the path of the serpent. But we also have the Fool energy, and anytime we get a Fool, we have to do an I-Ching hexagram. So let's do that now. Because the Fool is kind of at the top of the path of the dove, so it is what we're kind of looking at, what we're looking toward. It's kind of our ideal. It's kind of what we want. All right, maybe we want some of this freedom, this creative freedom. We don't necessarily want the tumultuousness or the chaos of the lust or strength card. We want just kind of the light and airy freedom. Freedom from responsibilities, freedom from this order and discipline, right? Just freedom from the kind of the routine, We want to get outside of the system. We just want to expand. We want to explore new things. Let's see what the I-Ching will tell us about this Fool. 20, seeing. Washing hands and not making the offering. There is truth and confidence, like a presence. Well, let's see what else this card says. On the back, there is some commentary. To see is to witness everything that comes into view with an open awareness. Well, that's the Fool, right? 0 card, pure awareness, pure spirit, pure air. All expansiveness, wants to witness, wants to see, wants to be in everything, right? Witness everything that comes into view with an open awareness. In the ritual, the everyday world is washed off, right? Getting out of this kind of routine, getting out of the everyday world. And then there's a pause for whatever comes like a presence into the space. So we're transcending the mundane, right? We're getting into that magical space where anything is possible. Don't fall automatically into the next step of the process of life. See what is present before you respond. Okay, so maybe this is kind of an opportunity that's coming your way, and we might see it as some chaos coming into the system. And so our automatic kind of response is, nope, I'm going to stay, I'm going to close my drawbridge, I'm going to wake up the alligators in the moat, and I'm going to defend my castle against this coming chaos. But the I-Ching and the Fool is saying, wait, let's not react in that emperor kind of way. Let's get out of this whole emperor. Let's take off the robe and the scepter and the crown, and let's rise above this routine, this mundane world. This world where we are dressed up in this costume like an emperor and thinking we're in charge of making laws and doing all this stuff. In our daily lives, you know. And let's rise above. Let's see what this really is. Let's see what the potential is, right? Don't fall automatically into the next step of the process of life. And now this could also be another bit of a warning here. The next step in the process of life, well, maybe is you joining forces with this other person and getting into a, you know, moving in together, right? Sharing the bills, sharing the household chores. There's the Four of Pentacles here. There's very much a domestic kind of energy. Right? So maybe don't rush into this either. Don't rush into either decision, right? Either raising the drawbridge and filling the moat and waking up the alligators, but also don't do the other opposite. Don't do the other extreme of inviting this into your home and marrying yourself to it. Right? I'm going to laugh if we get the Lover's card over here in the mystery section. I don't think that we will, though, because I think the Fool really has it. When you stop searching, what comes into view? If you had no preconceptions, what might you see? Right? That Fool, pure awareness, no judgment, no reaction, no self-consciousness. Right? We're not going to judge this situation, whatever these two are, whatever is the chaos coming into your system. Let's not judge it yet. Right? Let's try to get a more broad perspective. Right? If you had no preconceptions, what might you see? Okay. Now, down beneath everything, Eight of Cups. Why is this here? I think there's part of you that is ready for that chaos, that's ready for something to spark things up again. You know, we're ready for this kind of passion in our lives. So here is the impulse for us to just blindly accept it, marry ourselves to it, and just dive right in, right? Really, really lock it down and start a life with it, right? Whether it's a person, whether it's an idea, whether it's an impulse to completely change your life. Okay, we've got to be aware that we might be feeling some sort of discontent. Now, this is under the surface. This is a feeling you might not really even be aware of. Do you feel like all of your cups are being filled, or do you feel like the water's kind of draining out of things? See, in the recent past, we've got a Six of Cups. I don't know that we're still here in the Six of Cups. See, I kind of feel like this was a temporary beauty and harmony, a temporary balance that we achieved before it started to kind of slide down the other side of the hill, right? The Sixes are successful. The Sixes are all about victory, right? We've overcome a challenge. We've done it. But this is temporary. There's still a 7, 8, 9, 10 of Cups coming after this. So this isn't the end of the story. Right? You may have overcome a challenge, sure, but I think this is just the beginning of your story. Right? I think your quest now is really beginning. We may have overcome the first challenge, the first hurdle. But now comes the real quest. And I think the real quest is, how do you incorporate both sides of this? How do you incorporate it's kind of, we could say left brain, right brain. We can say conscious, unconscious. We could say the superego and the, what do they call it, the id or something. I don't know, it's some outdated Freudian terminology. How do we become whole and complete? Just because we have in the past experienced a Six of Cups, this kind of pleasure, this feeling like, for this moment at least, everything is perfect. We know that doesn't last. Okay? Enjoy it while it's there, but it doesn't last. I think this is why this is kind of behind you. Maybe it's an idea that we're trying to get back to that. And that's why we're feeling disappointed or discontent. Because when you get to a Six of Cups, you have to go to a 7, an 8, a 9, a 10. When we get to the 9 and 10, that's when we really understand, wow, this is what happiness is. The Six of Cups may feel good for the moment, but this isn't true happiness. This is temporary, momentary. Okay? But I do think in the last 6 months you've overcome something significant, and it made you feel really good. It made you feel like things were perfect. But now we're kind of back to maybe a more familiar territory, and we're looking for what comes next. Okay. And now, of course, next is the Four of Pentacles. This is kind of what we don't want, in a way, right? This is one potential outcome. This is an extreme. Like I said, it's either isolating ourselves, protecting our emperor, and castling our king, right? Is that how it works in chess? I'm a little bit rusty with chess. I'd like to teach my daughter eventually, but I'm not that good at it. We're castling our king here, castling our emperor in this one. Okay. And of course, the other extreme is we are bringing in this other energy. Whether this could be a new activity, it could be a new hobby, it could be a new person, it could be a new career, a new course of study, whatever it is. It's very much, at least at first glance, seems opposite to who you are, what you're about, what you're doing currently. Right? I think we can see over time a higher unity here, but we have to avoid either extreme of the Four of Pentacles, right? Now, the other way to look at that Four of Pentacles is that the union of these two complementary sides of you, or energies in your life, really is what's going to give you power to manifest your reality. Right? This plus this equals earthly power, the power to manifest. Right? This card has many meanings. We need to take them all into account before we really make any decisions, you know. And that brings us to the path of the serpent, because we've got action here. This is the Knight of Wands. This is fire on fire. This is the activation of this emperor. This is the emperor now doing things, making decisions, taking action, right? And this can only happen when we have trust in the other. You see, if we look at these two, it's kind of like a horse and a rider. You see a horse and a rider. We have that primal, instinctual, the kind of wild animal part of things, right? And then we've got the rider, we've got the knight. Someone who's holding the reins is very official and very much in control, very rational. And I think this is perhaps the revelation of the mystery here. That maybe it is these two together in the correct relationship that will lead to you manifesting, accomplishing your goals, bringing your ideas, your will, your soul to actualization in the material realm, right? Creating some stability in your life. So in a way, the Four of Pentacles is what we want, because if we feel stable here already. This is a 4. This is the fourth mystery of the tarot. It's the Emperor, the number 4. So there's stability here. But if we bring this chaos in, we're destabilizing this Emperor. So what we really want, in however whichever method we choose to do it, we need to restabilize things. We need to restabilize our actual life in physical plane reality, right? And this is either maybe stabilizing by locking this energy down and creating and trying to tame it and domesticate it, or this is us isolating and kind of castling our emperor, right? And staying away from this wild, chaotic energy, right? Or the third option, the transcendent option that maybe the fool can see, and that is that the correct relationship between these two is what really unleashes your earthly power, what really unleashes your ability to manifest your deepest and highest and most true desires, your will, your purpose, your destiny. Okay? Now, with the Two of Wands in the position of the environment, you have to make a decision. It's going to be incumbent upon you to figure out what to do here. We already have kind of three options, right? And I think it's really going to take some of this Fool energy, this more expanded awareness, this transcendent consciousness to figure out what the right decision is for you. Okay? The Two of Wands in this position says don't relinquish control to anybody else. The last thing we want the Emperor to do is to temporarily transfer power to somebody else. They're not going to give it back. Right? Reminds me of an episode of The Office, as does most things these days. Kind of feel like Dwight in this color shirt. Don't even temporarily transfer power or authority to anybody else. You have to remain in control of your life and your decisions. And this could be a very practical thing if we are getting involved in this chaotic Leo-style energy. Don't let them make decisions for you. Don't find yourself down the road completely altered, changed, or directed in your life by this energy. Could wake up one day and think, how did I get here? I don't remember making all of these decisions. Suddenly, this is where I am. So we have to stay in control and make our own decisions and choices. Okay. Now, the next card, Seven of Swords. It's a 7. We've got to do a botanical inspiration card. These are fun. I like these. If there's some sort of communication blockage, some sort of distraction in your thinking apparatus, right? We're trying to make a decision and stay on course, and there's just too many thoughts happening. Well, we need the Fool as the corrective for that as well, but let's see what we see here. The Anemone. Anticipation. Yeah. I felt like an arrow pulled back and ready to be launched into something big. A.B. Shepard said that. I think is that Alan Shepard, the astronaut? This is interesting because it could be this anticipation of all the potential that this, good and bad, all the potential of this partnership is really can make us feel like an arrow pulled back and ready to be launched into something big. Well, that could be scary, that could be hopeful, that could be all sorts of feelings arise there, right? So that might be interfering with our ability to really get a rational grasp on things. And I think that's why this is in the position of what we don't want. We don't want to try to think things through in a rational, logical way and just find it impossible to do so. Well, that's why we've got to go with the Fool. There's too much anticipation of the potential here for us to really, think logically, right? I think we can all kind of relate to that sort of feeling. And what we see, what we really feel, is the Princess of Wands at the end. Now, the Princess of Wands is a couple of things. It is the Knight of Wands, the ability for us to have the horse and the rider together as a harmonious unit of action. Now, this is us manifesting that action, right? But this is kind of that anticipation too. because this is a little bit reckless. This is kind of us maybe jumping into something, feeling like we're that arrow being pulled back. This is us now just shot out of a cannon, right? Which is usually what I say about the Knight of Wands too, that this is just kind of unbridled fire energy. It runs wild. Sometimes the horse runs away with the rider. If it's not a very good rider, they're not going to be able to control the horse. Well, this is what will happen. Reckless behavior. Destructive, setting little fires everywhere, dancing with the tiger, doing things that in our rational mind, if we were able to think things clearly, I'd realize, I shouldn't be out there doing that. Right? So we have to be aware of all of this fire energy. And I think we really need this Fool energy. In this case, I think the Fool is the wisest card, the wisest energy on this table today, because it brings with it the I-Ching, of course. But the Fool is the sage here. And I think it's by embracing that Fool energy, just clear your mind, rise above, try to transcend all of this chaos, all of this fire, all of this anticipation, and just be and see, like the I-Ching says. Let's see what the potential is here and what we should do. It's not an intellectual figuring, right? It's more intuitive. It's more spiritual than that. I think this feels like it's the beginning of a major chapter in your story, if not the beginning of the story itself, right? Maybe what came before was kind of an introduction, a preface. This is the real story. Let's see what the mystery card says, okay? This is the point of the reading where I'll ask you to connect with this card. Connect with all of these cards. Let's try to discern this mystery card together. Put your predictions in the comments section below. And let's see. Gosh, I don't know what it's going to be. I'm still feeling like it's the beginning of something. Something really, really big. As the anemone says, right? Being an arrow being shot into something, launched into something big. I think it's the beginning of your story. Maybe an Ace of Wands. I think it's going to be an ace. Maybe an Ace of Wands. Maybe an Ace of Cups. Let's see. It is an ace, but it's an Ace of Pentacles. So this tells me, it's the beginning, and it really is, it's necessary for us to secure this, to lock it down, to stabilize it. This is safety, security, stability. This is power. This is material manifestation. We have to harness this energy and make it work for us and use it in the right way. Okay? Now, this might be, like I said, it might be coming in the form of another person. Feels like opposite energy. It could come in the form of just a new passion, a new desire, a new interest, a new creative surge in you, right? It is the beginning of something very, very powerful. You have to figure out, right? You have to see, not really figuring, but seeing how to harness this and how to manifest it, how to make it safe and secure, right? It's like electricity is out there everywhere. It's really powerful. But to understand how to utilize it, well, that's big, right? That is a major, major story. So I think this is the beginning of something just really just jaw-dropping for you. And we are going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, click in the corner there. There should be a link. New readings for Taurus every Monday and Friday, all right, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave me a comment. Taurus, I want you to remember that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.